The night was cold, silent, and endless. Two alien girls walked slowly across the ruins of a broken world. Their small feet touched the sharp stones. Their thin bodies shook from hunger and fear. They had no home, no family, and no place to go, and the older girl with dark silver eyes tried to hold the hand of her younger sister. The younger one was weak, her steps slow. Her voice was almost a whisper. "Sister, I cannot walk more." The older girl pressed her lips together. She wanted to cry too, but she had to be strong. "We cannot stop here," she said softly. "If we stay, the cold will take us." The sky above them was empty. No stars, no moon, only black clouds of dust from a war they could not understand. Their planet had been burned, their people gone. Only the two of them remained. They wore no clothes except torn pieces of fabric they found from the ground. The wind cut through them like knives. The older girl pulled her sister close, trying to keep her warm, but she was shaking herself. Every step was heavy. Every breath was painful. The younger girl whispered again, "We will not survive another night." The older one looked around with desperate eyes. She wanted to tell her sister they would be fine, but she could not lie. Deep in her heart, she feared the same thing. They were lost. They were dying. Then in the distance a light appeared. At first it was small, like a star on the ground. The older girl stopped, pulling her sister behind a rock. Her heart raced. Was it danger? Was it someone coming to hunt them? The younger girl leaned against her, trembling. "What is that?" she asked. The older girl narrowed her eyes. The light was moving, growing brighter. It was not fire. It was not like the alien patrols who had destroyed everything. This was different. It was steady, strong, and it was coming closer. The sisters held each other tightly. They wanted to run, but their legs had no strength. All they could do was wait, hoping it would pass. The sound of footsteps echoed in the silence, heavy, steady, closer with every second. The older girl's heart pounded in her chest. She whispered, "Stay quiet. Do not move." From behind the rocks, they saw a tall figure walking towards them. The light came from a small device he held in his hand. His shape was different from theirs, his face covered with shadows. A human. The older girl gasped softly. She had heard stories about humans. Some called them dangerous, some called them strange. But now, one stood right in front of them. The man stopped only a few steps away. His eyes scanned the darkness until they found the two frightened girls. They froze, too weak to hide, too afraid to speak. For a long moment, nothing happened. The only sound was the wind carrying the dust around them. Then the human lowered the light. His face softened. His voice was deep but gentle. "Both of you," he said. "Come with me." The words cut through the silence like fire through ice. The alien girls stared at him in shock. They could not move. They could not speak. Their minds were filled with fear and confusion. Why would a human want to help them? Why now, when no one else cared? The older sister pulled her younger one closer. Her voice shook. "Why?" she whispered. "Why should we follow you?" The human looked at them for a moment. His eyes not cruel, not cold, but warm, full of something the girls had not seen in a long time. Kindness. "Because," he said quietly, "you should not be alone." The younger girl's lips trembled. A single tear rolled down her cheek. She wanted to believe him. She wanted to believe there was still hope. The older girl still hesitated. She remembered the death, the fire, the cruelty of others. But when she looked into the human's eyes, she felt something strange. A spark, a promise that maybe, just maybe, they were not lost. The human stretched out his hand, waiting, not forcing, simply offering. The light in his other hand glowed softly, wrapping them in a circle of safety. The girls looked at each other, their bodies weak, their hearts broken. But in that moment, they felt a choice. Stay here, in the cold and the dark, and slowly fade away, or take his hand and step into something unknown. The wind howled louder, as if pushing them toward the decision. The younger girl whispered, "Sister, I am not afraid." The older one swallowed hard. Her silver eyes filled with tears she had held back for too long. Slowly she reached out. Her small hand touched the human's. It was warm. The human's voice came again, stronger this time. Come. You are safe now. And for the first time in many dark days, the alien girls felt a spark of hope. First contact. The human's hand was steady, open, waiting. The older alien girl looked at it with doubt. Her heart screamed to run, but her legs had no strength. Her little sister pressed against her side, whispering, "Please, I am tired." The human spoke again. His voice was calm, not sharp like the soldiers who had destroyed their home, not cold like the traitors who left children to starve. He said, "I will not hurt you, I promise." The younger sister's small hand moved first. She touched the human's fingers just for a second. She pulled back quickly, her eyes wide. "He is warm," she whispered, almost in disbelief. The older sister stared at the human's eyes, searching for lies. But she saw something unusual. His eyes were not filled with greed, not filled with cruelty. Instead, she saw worry, as if he truly cared about two strangers he had just found. In the dark, the human knelt down so his face was closer to theirs. He lowered the light so it did not blind them. His coat brushed the dust. He spoke softly. "You are freezing. Take this." Slowly, he removed his thick outer coat and placed it across the shoulders of the older girl. She flinched, expecting pain, but instead, warmth wrapped around her thin body. The coat was heavy, rough, but it carried the smell of smoke and earth. It was the smell of someone who worked hard, someone real. The younger girl tugged the coat closer and whispered, "It is warm, sister. Very warm." The human reached into a small bag at his side. He pulled out a silver container, opened it, and held it toward them. The smell made both girls' stomachs twist painfully. It was food. "Eat," he said, his voice firm but gentle. "You need it more than I do." The older sister stared at him, then at the food. Suspicion filled her mind. Was this a trick? Would it make them sick? But her sister's trembling hands reached out. She could not stop her. The younger one grabbed a small piece and bit into it. Her eyes widened. She chewed quickly, almost crying. "It is real. It is food," she whispered. The older sister hesitated for a long moment before taking a piece too. The taste filled her mouth with salt and heat. Her empty stomach ached with hunger, but it was a good ache, a living ache. The human watched quietly, his face calm, his eyes soft. He did not rush them, did not push. He simply waited as if protecting them from the cold with his presence alone. When they had eaten, the older sister looked at him again. Her voice was shaky. "Why?" she asked. "Why do you help us? You do not know us." The human took a breath. His face turned serious. "Because no one deserves to die alone in the dark," he said. "Not even strangers." The words struck deep. The girls looked at each other. They had heard many voices since their world fell. Voices of hate, voices of orders, voices of guns and fire, but never words like these. The human stood, offering his hand again. "Come with me," he said. "You cannot survive here. My ship is not far." The girls hesitated, fear battling hope inside them. The older sister's heart whispered danger, but her eyes saw truth. She glanced at her younger sister, who whispered, "Please, let us go with him. I do not want to stay here." The older one finally nodded. She stood slowly, holding her sister's hand tight, and stepped toward the human. He led them carefully across the broken ground. His light guided the way. Each step felt strange to the girls, walking not into darkness but into something they could not name. Perhaps safety, perhaps danger, but it was better than waiting for death. As they walked, the older sister asked, "Who are you?" The human answered, "My name is Aaron." "Aaron," the younger girl repeated softly, as if the name itself was something warm, something safe. They continued through the ruins until a shape appeared ahead. A ship, small but strong, sat hidden between rocks and broken walls. Its surface was marked by old battles, but its lights glowed faintly alive. The sisters stopped staring. For them, a ship meant escape, freedom, life. Aaron turned to them. "It is not much," he said, "but it is safe. Come inside." The older sister pulled her sister closer, her voice soft. "Do we trust him?" The younger one looked at the coat around her shoulders, the food still warm in her stomach. She whispered, "He saved us, sister. I think we can trust him." Aaron walked ahead, the ship's ramp opening with a hiss. The inside glowed with soft light, warmer than the night outside. He looked back at them, waiting. The sisters took a slow step forward, then another. Their hearts pounded, but for the first time since their world ended, they walked toward hope, not away from it. As they reached the ramp, Aaron's voice echoed gently. "You are safe now, I promise." The older sister swallowed hard, still unsure. But when she looked at her younger sibling's face, she saw a smile. The first smile in many dark days, and with that, they stepped into the ship, leaving the ruins of their past behind. The journey begins. The ship's ramp closed behind them with a heavy sound, sealing the girls inside. For the first time in many days, the wind and dust of the broken world were shut out. The younger girl blinked at the soft yellow lights that filled the ship. Her thin fingers touched the smooth walls. "It is warm here," she whispered, her voice trembling between wonder and disbelief. Aaron, the human, walked ahead of them. His boots echoed against the metal floor. He pressed a switch and panels lit up, showing glowing screens and moving lights. To the girls, it felt like stepping into another world. The older sister held her younger one's hand tightly. Her eyes searched every corner, still suspicious, still afraid. She whispered to herself, "A trap can also be warm." But her sister smiled for the first time, and that smile made her hesitate. Aaron turned and looked at them. "Sit here," he said, pointing to 2 seats near the side of the cabin. "You need to rest, I will. Prepare the ship." The girls sat down slowly, their small bodies sinking into the cushions. The seats were soft, so soft that their tired bones almost melted into them. The younger one laughed quietly, a weak laugh, but real. "Sister, this feels like home." The older sister did not answer. Her silver eyes stayed on Aaron as he moved toward the front of the ship. His hands touched controls, switches clicked, and the low hum of power filled the air. The entire ship seemed to wake up. Outside, the night roared with silence, but inside, life began to move. The younger girl whispered again, "He is helping us." She leaned against her sister, closing her eyes. "Maybe we will live." The older one wanted to believe. She wanted to close her eyes too, but her instincts screamed not to. She had lost too much, too many. Trust was not easy. Aaron's voice broke her thoughts. "Hold tight," he said. "We are leaving this place." The hum turned into a deep vibration. The ship lifted slowly from the ground. Dust rose in clouds. Stones shook. The girls held each other as the ship rose higher. Through a small window they saw the ruins below, their broken world disappearing. Into the dark, the younger sister whispered, "Goodbye." Her voice cracked, but there was relief too. The older one watched silently, her heart heavy. That world was gone, but in her mind, the screams of fire still burned. She turned away, pressing her forehead against her sister's hair. "We will not go back," she whispered. The ship climbed higher, breaking through the dust clouds. Finally, stars appeared, bright and countless. For the first time, the girls saw the sky open, clear and infinite. Their breath caught. The stars looked alive. The younger sister's eyes sparkled. "It is beautiful," she said. Like freedom." Aaron glanced back at them, his face softening. "Yes," he said. "Freedom." But freedom never came without danger. A sudden alarm screamed inside the cabin. Red lights flashed. The ship's panels showed warning signs. Aaron's face turned serious at once. His hands moved quickly over the controls. The girls jumped in fear, clutching each other. "What is it?" The older one asked, her voice sharp. Aaron muttered, "We are being tracked." The words froze the air on the screen. Glowing red dots appeared, moving fast toward them. Enemy ships. Not just one, but several. The older sister's heart pounded. She whispered, "They are coming for us." Aaron's jaw tightened. "Yes," he said. "They do not want you free." The younger girl shook with fear. "They will take us back. They will hurt us." Tears ran down her cheeks. She buried her face in her sister's chest. Aaron turned his chair, his voice firm. "Listen to me," he said, looking at both girls. "I will not let them take you, not while I breathe." His words were strong, but the older sister felt fear grow inside her. Could one human really fight against them? Could he really protect them? Aaron switched controls. The ship roared as engines burned hotter. The stars outside blurred as speed increased. The pursuers followed, red lights closing in. The cabin shook. Alarms continued. The younger girl cried, "We cannot escape. They are too many." Aaron's eyes narrowed, his voice steady. "Sometimes you don't escape, you fight." The older sister stared at him, stunned. She whispered, "Fight? Against them?" Aaron smiled faintly, but his eyes were sharp. "You will see what humans do when we have something to protect." The ship dived suddenly, the cabin tilted. The girls screamed softly as their bodies pressed against the seats. Stars spun outside. The window. Enemy fire flashed past, glowing lines cutting through space. The human's hands moved like lightning, pulling levers, pressing buttons. His voice calm even in chaos. "Hold on." The ship spun again, dodging blasts. The enemy closed in, but Aaron's ship twisted and rolled, always one step ahead. The older sister held her sister tightly, whispering, "He is not running, he is fighting." Another blast shook the ship. Sparks flying from panels, the lights flickered. The younger girl screamed, "We will die." Aaron shouted over the noise, "Not today." He pressed a button and a hidden panel on the ship opened. From it, small weapons fired back, streaks of light shooting toward the pursuers. One enemy ship exploded in flames. The blast lit the stars. The girls gasped, their eyes wide. The older sister whispered in awe, He destroyed them. But more came, faster, angrier. Surrounding them, Aaron's voice was steady, but his hands moved faster. "This is not the end, trust me." The cabin shook again. But in the middle of fire and fear, the girls saw something they had not seen in anyone else since their world fell. Courage. Not cold courage, not for power, but courage born from a heart that refused to let them suffer. In that moment, the older sister felt something shift inside her. For the first time, she believed, maybe, just maybe, this human could save them. The battle had just begun, but so had their journey. Conflict arises. The stars outside burned with streaks of fire. Enemy ships chased Aaron's small vessel like wolves hunting prey. Red lights flashed on the panels. Alarms screamed in warning. The younger girl clung to her sister, her small body shaking. "They will catch us," she cried. "They always catch us." Her voice was full of fear, full of memory. The older sister pressed her close, whispering, "No, not this time." But her own heart was heavy. Could one human truly fight against so many? Aaron's hands moved over the controls with speed and precision. His face calm, but his jaw tight. He glanced back at the girls. "Stay down. Stay safe. I'll handle this." The ship shook as enemy fire struck the shields. Sparks jumped from the panels. The older sister gasped, "They are breaking through." Aaron's eyes narrowed. His voice was strong. "They want you, don't they?" The older sister hesitated, then nodded, her voice low. "Yes, we are not safe, not anywhere. They call us valuable." "Valuable?" Aaron asked sharply. Tears filled her eyes. "We don't know why. Only that soldiers came. They burned our home, they killed everyone. But when they saw us, they didn't kill us. They said we must be taken alive." The younger one sobbed. "We ran. We hid. But they always followed." Aaron's grip on the controls tightened. His eyes burned. "With fire, so they destroyed your world for you?" The older sister nodded slowly. "Yes. For us." Aaron turned his face toward the stars, anger deep in his voice. "Then they will not have you, not while I live." The ship shook again as another blast hit. The shields flickered. The pursuers were closing in. One enemy ship's voice cracked through the comms, sharp and cold. "Human vessel, surrender the 2 alien subjects. Hand them over and you may live." The younger sister buried her face, crying, "They will kill us." Aaron pressed the comm switch. His voice thundered, "Listen to me, I don't care who you are. You will not touch them. You will not take them over my dead body." The line went silent. Then laughter echoed from the enemy ship, cruel and mocking. "One human against us? Foolish." Aaron's ship dove sharply, dodging another blast. The girls screamed and held each other as the star spun. The human's voice cut through the chaos. "Maybe foolish, but humans don't give up." He pressed a switch and the ship's hidden weapons came alive. Small cannons fired, streaks of light ripped through the darkness. One of the enemy ships exploded, fire scattering across the stars. The girls gasped. In shock, the younger whispered, "He fights for us." But more ships surrounded them, faster and larger. The odds were too great. The older sister's voice cracked. "You cannot win against all of them. They are too many." Aaron's eyes locked on hers for a moment, strong and steady. "Maybe not, but I can make them fear me." The ship roared as he pushed it into a dangerous spin, weaving between enemy blasts, his movements sharp, daring. Every second was a gamble. Every second was survival. The girls felt their bodies press against the seats. The younger cried, "We will crash." Aaron shouted, "Hold on." His eyes blazed with determination. The ship dived suddenly, slipping under 2 enemy vessels. His weapons fired again. 2 more ships burst into flames. The explosion lit the sisters' wide eyes. The comms crackled again, a voice full of rage. "You cannot protect them, human. They belong to us." Aaron snarled. "They belong to no one. They are free." Another blast hit. The ship shook violently. The girls screamed. Sparks filled the cabin. The lights flickered. The older sister's heart raced. "We cannot last like this," she whispered. Her eyes burned with fear, but also something else. Hope. Aaron pulled the ship into a sharp climb, dodging another barrage, his voice steady even in chaos. "Listen to me," he said to the girls. "I didn't save you to give you up now. I will protect you, even if it costs me everything." The younger one's tears slowed. She stared at him, whispering, "Why? Why do you care?" Aaron didn't look back. His voice was firm. "Because no one cared when my people suffered. Because I swore, if I could stop someone else from feeling that pain, I would. That is what it means to be human." His words struck deep. The girls clung to each other, their fear mixed with awe. The battle raged. Enemy ships closed in again. Aaron's weapons fired. Explosions lit the stars. But for every one he destroyed, another came. The older sister whispered, "They will not stop, not until we are taken." Aaron's eyes blazed. "Then let them come. They will learn what humanity means." He pulled the ship into another impossible dive. Enemy fire scorched past. His cannons roared again. The girls could hardly breathe. Fear and wonder twisted inside them. They had seen cruelty. They had seen despair. But never had they seen courage like this. Never had they seen someone fight so hard for lives not his own. And in that moment, the older sister whispered to herself, "Humans are not like the others." Humanity's strength. The enemy ships closed in from all sides. Their glowing weapons lit the stars with fire. Aaron's small vessel shook as blasts struck the shields again and again. The warning alarms screamed. The cabin filled with red light. The younger alien girl cried out, clutching her sister. "We cannot escape, they are too many." Aaron's jaw tightened. His hands gripped the controls. His voice was calm but sharp. "Then we do not run. We fight smart." The older sister stared at him, confused. "Fight smart? What do you mean?" Aaron's eyes locked on the starfield. His voice steady. "Humans are not the strongest, not the fastest, not the most advanced, but we survive because we adapt. We use what we have, and we never stop." He pulled the ship into a sudden roll, spinning between 2 enemy vessels. Their blasts collided with each other, sparks of fire bursting across the void. The girls gasped in shock. The younger whispered, "He made them hit themselves." Aaron smirked faintly. "One down." The enemy comms crackled again. "Human. Surrender the girls or be destroyed." Aaron pressed the switch. His voice thundered back. "You want them? Come take them." The ship dived into an asteroid field, jagged rocks spinning slowly in the dark. The girls clung to each other, fear. In their eyes, the older sister cried, "We will crash." Aaron's hands moved swiftly, his voice calm. "Trust me." The vessel weaved between massive stones. The enemies followed, firing wildly. Their blasts shattered rocks, debris scattering in all directions. Aaron twisted sharply, guiding his woke ship through gaps no sane pilot would attempt. The younger girl screamed, "He is going to kill us." The older one stared, wide-eyed. "No, he is leading them." Aaron's voice was low, controlled. "That's right, make them chase me, make them blind." Suddenly he spun the ship around a massive asteroid, vanishing from enemy sensors for a second. The pursuing ships rushed forward, searching desperately. Aaron pressed a button, releasing a cluster of small metal pods from his ship. They drifted into space, glowing faintly. The older sister asked, "What is that?" Aaron's eyes narrowed. "A trick." The enemy locked onto the pods, mistaking them for targets. They fired, explosions ripping through the asteroid field. The blasts bounced debris back into their own path. One enemy ship smashed against a rock torn apart by fire. Another lost control and spiraled into darkness. The sisters gasped, their fear turning into awe. He is turning the space itself against them," the older whispered. Aaron's ship darted out from cover, his cannons firing. Another enemy vessel burst into flames, but still, more remained, faster and stronger, surrounding him again. The girls clung to each other, trembling. "He cannot fight forever," the younger sobbed. Aaron's eyes burned with fire. "I don't need forever, just enough." He pushed the ship into a sharp dive. Enemy blasts rained down, the shields screamed. Sparks flew across the cabin, the sisters screamed. For a moment, it seemed the ship would break. But Aaron pulled. Hard, the vessel twisting in a wild maneuver that no machine should survive. The enemies overshot, scattering apart. Aaron grinned fiercely. "Humans don't fight fair." He fired again. A blast tore through another ship's engines. The enemy vessel spun out, exploding in silence. The comms crackled again. The enemy commander's voice was sharp with anger. "Why risk your life for them, human? They are nothing. Worthless." Aaron's voice cut back like steel. "They are children. They are alive, that makes them worth everything." The sisters stared at him, their eyes wide with shock. No one had ever spoken of them like that. Not their own people, not the soldiers, not the hunters. The younger girl whispered, tears in her eyes, "He fights for us." The battle raged on. Aaron's ship diving, spinning, twisting through fire. His every move reckless yet brilliant. Enemy after enemy fell, until only two remained, circling like vultures. The older sister whispered, "He cannot win, not against them all." Aaron's eyes narrowed. "Watch me." He pushed the ship toward the nearest enemy. "Head on." The girls screamed, "We will crash." At the last second, Aaron pulled the ship into a sharp roll. The enemy fired, missing him and striking its own ally. Both ships burst into fire, debris scattering across the stars. The silence that followed was heavy. The alarms slowed. The ship shook, damaged but still alive. Aaron leaned back, breathing hard, his hands shaking slightly from the strain. But his eyes still burned. He whispered, "That's how humans fight." The girls were silent, staring at him with awe, their fear melting into something new. "Trust?" The younger one whispered, "He is not like them. He is not like anyone." The older sister nodded slowly, her voice soft but firm. "He is human." Aaron turned to look at them, his face serious, but gentle. "You are safe for now," he said. "But they will not stop. They will come again. We must be ready." The older girl swallowed hard. "Why do they want us?" Aaron's eyes softened. "I don't know," he said. "But I know this. Whatever they want, they cannot have you, not while I am here. The younger girl's voice shook. But you could have left us. You could have run. Why save us? Aaron's gaze was steady. Because humanity does not walk away from those in need, not if we can help. That is our strength. That is who we are. The cabin fell silent. The girls looked at him, their fear slowly replaced by hope. The younger, one leaned against her sister, whispering, "Maybe we have a future now." And the older girl, for the first time since their world burned, allowed herself to believe it. Safety and trust. The stars outside drifted slowly now, silent and endless. The cabin lights glowed softly, no longer flashing with alarms. The constant sound of weapons had faded, leaving only the hum of the ship's engines. The younger alien girl leaned against her sister, exhausted. Her small eyes began to close. She whispered, "We are safe, for now." And her voice trailed into sleep. The older sister brushed a hand over her hair, holding her close. Her own eyes burned with tears she had not allowed to fall until now. Relief mixed with fear, hope mixed with doubt. She looked up at Aaron, who sat at the controls, his shoulders heavy but strong. For a long time, silence filled the cabin. Then, Aaron turned his chair toward them. His voice was low, gentle. "You should rest." The older sister shook her head. "I cannot, not yet." Aaron studied her face, the sharpness in her silver eyes, the way she held her sister like a shield. He nodded slowly. "You don't trust me," he said simply, not as an accusation, but as truth. She lowered her gaze. "You fight for us. You protect us. But why? No one else ever did." Aaron leaned forward, resting his elbows on his knees, his voice steady. "Because I remember what it is like to be powerless, to lose everything, to feel like the universe has forgotten you." The older sister looked at him, her lips parted in surprise. He continued, "When I was young, my home was attacked too. My people fought, many died. I lost my family. I lost friends. But a stranger saved me. Someone who didn't have to. Someone who could have walked away. That stranger was human, and I swore I would be like him." The older girl's chest tightened. She whispered, "So you helped because once someone helped you?" Aaron nodded, his eyes dark with memory. "That is how we survive, not only with strength but with kindness passed forward. We may be broken sometimes, but we carry each other." The older sister looked down at her sleeping sibling, her small chest rising and falling peacefully for the first time in days. A lump grew in her throat. "She is all I have left," she whispered. "I promised I would keep her safe, but I could not. I failed her." Her hands shook. Her voice cracked. "I am her sister. I should be strong, but I could not save her. Not from the soldiers, not from hunger, not from the cold." Aaron's voice was steady, but warm. "You did not fail. You kept her alive. That is strength. Even when the universe was against you, you kept fighting for her." Her silver eyes filled with tears. She whispered, "But I am tired, so tired." Aaron stood and walked closer, kneeling in front of her, his voice firm but gentle. "Then let me carry some of that weight. You don't have to do it alone anymore." She stared at him, searching for lies, but his eyes were steady, honest. For the first time, she felt the heavy walls inside her crack. Her lips trembled. She whispered, "Why us? Why risk so much for us?" Aaron looked at her softly. "Because you deserve to live, not because of what you are, not because someone calls you valuable, but because you are children. You deserve a chance to grow, to dream, to hope." That is enough reason. Her breath caught. No one had ever spoken like that. Not her people, not the soldiers, not anyone. For a moment she could not speak. Her heart trembled with something new, something fragile. Trust. The silence stretched, but it was not heavy. It was soft, like the calm after a storm. The younger girl stirred in her sleep, murmuring Aaron's name. The older sister's lips parted slightly, shocked that even in sleep, Her sister felt safe enough to dream of him. Aaron smiled faintly. She trusts easily. The older sister shook her head. No, she only trusts when she feels safe. And I think she feels safe with you. Aaron's voice lowered, almost a whisper. And you? The older sister froze. Her chest tightened. She looked away. I don't know. Aaron nodded, not pressing her. He stood, returning to the controls, his voice calm. That's all right. Trust takes time. I will wait. The words lingered, in the air, wrapping around her heart like unseen threads. Hours passed slowly. The ship moved through the quiet of space. The girls finally slept deeply, their bodies curled under Aaron's heavy coat. For the first time, they did not dream of fire. The older sister woke later, blinking against the dim lights. Aaron was still at the controls, awake, watching the stars with steady eyes. She whispered, "You have not slept." Aaron looked back at her, smiling faintly. Someone has to keep watch. She studied him quietly, his tired face, the way his hands never left the controls, and something inside her shifted. She whispered, "Thank you." It was only 2 words, but heavy with meaning. Aaron nodded once. "You are welcome." Silence filled the ship again, but this time it was not sharp, not full of fear. It was gentle, almost peaceful. The older sister leaned back, her hand resting on her sleeping sibling. For the first time since her world burned, her heart whispered a fragile thought. Maybe they were not alone anymore. Maybe they had found something more than survival. Maybe they had found family, resolution, HFY spirit. The stars stretched endlessly, cold and beautiful. The little ship drifted quietly now, its engines humming softly. The battle was over. The enemies, destroyed or scattered inside the cabin. The younger alien girl stirred awake. Her eyes blinked open slowly. For a moment she panicked, remembering fire, remembering hunger, remembering soldiers. But then she saw the walls of Aaron's ship, the soft lights and her sister's protective arms around her. She whispered, "We are still alive." Her sister nodded, stroking her hair gently. "Yes, we are alive." Her silver eyes turned to Aaron, who sat at the controls, still awake, still watching the stars. Aaron glanced back, his face calm, but tired. "Good morning," he said, softly, though time had little meaning in space. The younger girl sat up, her voice small. "Are they gone?" Aaron nodded. "For now, yes. They will not find us easily again." The older sister frowned. "For now? You mean they will come again?" Aaron's jaw tightened slightly. "Yes, they will not give up. Not when they think you are valuable. They will hunt. But as long as I live, they will never take you." The younger girl's eyes filled with tears. "But why us? Why are we so important to them?" Aaron's face softened. "I don't know yet, but I do know this. What they see as valuable is not what I see. To me, you are valuable because you are alive, because you are children who deserve a future." The older sister's heart trembled at his words. She lowered her eyes. "No one ever said that to us before." Aaron smiled faintly. "Then let me be the first." The ship moved through the endless dark, quiet except for the steady hum. For the first time in many days, the younger girl laughed softly. "I want to see more stars." Aaron pressed a switch. The wall screen shifted, showing the wide view of the galaxy outside. Stars burned in countless numbers, some bright, some faint, clouds of light drifting like rivers of fire. The girls gasped, their eyes wide. "It is beautiful," the younger whispered, her small hand pressed against the glass. "Like home, but bigger." Aaron's voice was quiet but strong. "This is the universe, full of dangers, full of darkness, but also full of beauty. And it is ours to see, to live in, if we are brave enough to keep going." The older sister looked at him, her voice soft. "You speak as if the whole galaxy belongs to you," Aaron chuckled lightly. "Not just to me, to us, to everyone who dares to live with hope." The girls sat quietly, watching the endless stars. For the first time, their hearts were not full of fear, but of wonder. Hours passed. The ship drifted toward a safe route Aaron had chosen. Somewhere quiet, far from soldiers and hunters, somewhere he hoped the girls could rest. The younger one finally asked, "Aaron, are we your family now?" Aaron turned, surprised, his eyes softened. He smiled gently. "If you want to be, then yes, you are my family." The younger girl beamed, hugging her sister tightly. "We are not alone anymore." The older sister's throat tightened, her eyes burned. For days, weeks, maybe months, she had carried the weight of survival, believing no one would ever help them. Now, in this small ship with a human, she felt something new. Safety. Aaron leaned back in his chair, his voice calm. Family is not only blood, family is who stands with you when the world falls apart. I lost mine once, I will not lose it again. The girls looked at him, their eyes shining. They understood. The silence of space stretched on, but inside the cabin warmth grew. Not from the lights, not from the engines, but from something unseen. The bond between them. Days later, as they traveled farther from danger, Aaron taught them small things. He showed them how to eat human food, how to fasten the ship's belts, how to press the emergency switches. The younger girl laughed when she pressed the wrong button and the lights flickered. Aaron only smiled, patient. The older sister watched closely, learning, not because she fully trusted yet, but because she wanted to protect her sibling. Still, with each lesson, with each calm word, her heart grew lighter. One night, as the ship drifted in the quiet, Aaron found her awake, staring at the stars. He sat beside her, his voice low. "You still don't sleep much." She shrugged. "I am afraid to close my eyes, afraid I will wake up and all of this will be gone." Aaron looked at her gently. "It will not while I am here." Her silver eyes shone in the dim light. "You cannot promise forever," Aaron smiled faintly. "No, but I can promise today and tomorrow and the day after, as long as I breathe, you will not be alone." Her lips trembled. Her heart ached. She whispered, "Why are humans like this?" Aaron chuckled softly. "Not all humans are. Some are cruel, some are selfish. But the best of us, we fight not just for ourselves, but for others. That is what makes us human." She turned back to the stars, whispering, "Then maybe humans are special." Aaron leaned back, his eyes soft but proud. "Not because we are stronger, not because we are smarter, but because when everything is lost, we still choose to care. That is our strength." The words sank deep into her heart. For the first time, she smiled faintly. A small, fragile smile, but real. The younger girl stirred in her sleep, murmuring Aaron's name again. The older sister brushed her hair back, whispering softly, "Yes, he is family now." The ship drifted through the stars, carrying 3 souls bound not by blood but by something greater: trust, compassion, and the strength of humanity's heart. And so, in the vast silence of space, where empires rose and fell, where soldiers hunted and planets burned, 2 lost alien girls found hope again, not because of power, not because of fate, but because one human said 7 simple words: "Both of you, come home with me." And in that choice, the universe was changed.